Welcome to this week's episode. It is my honor to be your host, Dr. Katie Williams, with Dr. Williams LLC and the Dr. Williams Podcast. If you want to keep this show up and running, please take a moment to follow the show, leave a rating and a review, and share it with somebody that you think would enjoy listening. This show is about highlighting what I consider to be the most valuable form of communication. And it's something we all have, whether we're tapped into it or not. That is intuition. Let's jump right in and see how today's guest utilizes their unique ability to tap into their intuition and how they use it to serve others. Make sure to listen to the end to find out how you can work with today's guest. Hey guys, I'm here today with LeeAnn Romine, and she's going to do a reading for me. I'm really excited about this one because LeeAnn's been doing this for a big part of her life. This is something that has been a part of who she really is, and I'm really excited to see what comes out when she tunes into me and my higher self. So, pretty exciting episode today. LeeAnn, thank you so much for being here and being on the show. I really appreciate it.
It's an honor. Just an honor to be here. Your energy is fantastic. The first time we connected, it just clicked. I agree. So honored.
Yeah, I had that experience too. Can you kind of just give the audience a short introduction, who you are, what you do, kind of what your life purpose is?
Okay. I am a 60-year-old, very happy grandmother who has had a psychic ability all my life. I see, hear, and sense things that others just kind of didn't. And it threw me for a little bit, but I've been able to hone it into being able to really focus with conscious leaders, people who are in this world, in whatever business they're in. They want to be the leader. They want to change this world, however minute or huge, doesn't matter. But that's my purpose, is to be able to support them, to get them out of their own way. That's generally where it's at. It's just getting out of our own way.
So I have to tell you this, I might take this part out, but I just had another reading where I did another episode last week, and this woman came and she told me that I am meant to revolutionize mental health field by incorporating intuitive integration into it. And I thought of you.
I'm looking at the cards. I pulled cards before we started, and which I always do, because for me, it's a way to be able to just really sense and hone into your higher self. That's how I work, is higher self to higher self. And then I let it come through. That's exactly what came up for me. You are on the cusp of something really deeply important. And the only thing standing between you and that is the Fool card, which means you got to jump. You got to just get out there because it's scary. You're not only dealing with mental issues, which are big, and this planet is full of it right now. We are all on it all the time. But you are dealing with an old boy, excuse the French, but truly an old boy network of thinking that has to change. As much as it wants to, it won't without a lot of battering. That's what we do as humans best, is we're a little bit clunky with our change. But you are right there, and you are spearheading this. So, I mean, you need, talk about support. I'm here to support you because the work you're doing is big and it's important.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting goosebumps over here. Like, this is really exciting for me. And it is a little scary, a little bit, like that.
If you weren't on cutting edge, it wouldn't be. So that tells me that you are where you need to be. And you need to nudge now and again to remind yourself. And the one thing that came up that was overriding with everything that I pulled out here is the fact that love, that is your base. Is love. You love people. You love your work. You even love the mistakes that happen because they teach you. You just have this way of being able to turn everything through with that. And when you are based in such a pure emotion, you can't go wrong. You can make mistakes, but you're still on the path and you will continue forward. You have got an entire, just a cacophony of spiritual help behind you, helping to pull you forward with this. Yeah.
Wow.
So exciting.
I'm feeling very empowered right now.
You should. You need to be. You need to be, because what you're facing is big. It's a very I mean, I've had psychology training. I've also
Yes.
dealt with my own problems with depression and anxiety that are in my family. So I've been there. I've done all of the tools and techniques and drugs and you name it that they've given me. And the only thing that's ever worked was blending some of that with really good, healthy practices with eating, sleeping, and movement, and then adding in my spirituality. That's what
Yeah.
got me through it. And I know that's where you come from.
And
It's
that when we
holistic
had
for
that
you.
when we had that original conversation, that was, I think you kind of woke that up in me a little bit because that was where our conversation went. And
Mhm.
I thought, oh, I keep just getting shivers. This person really knows how to incorporate both, which is all that I'm trying to do with the podcast, with the
Mhm.
other podcast, the Feel Good Now podcast, because I know there is a connection there. And
It's
if we
huge.
could just bring in the spirituality, oh, it's going to change the world for people. It really is.
Yeah, it's not of either or. And to work best, it should be both. And there's a huge amount that can happen from that viewpoint
Yeah.
for people.
Yeah.
It's really, really amazing.
And we're going to get into that more because
Yes.
we're going to do an interview
Well, let
and
me
we're
get
going to
back to
really
this
delve into
reading
that.
thing here, if you don't mind, because
Okay.
I'm really having some stuff coming in here. Number
Okay.
one, you are your own harshest critic, which I think is very common for most people. But you're standing right now. The card that came up was cruelty, mental, where you're slicing and dicing yourself. You are so in integrity that the fear of making a mistake is kind of holding you back. That's where you're standing right now. And what I would offer up to you from my years of experience with this, the only way to shut that down, the only way is one of the strengths that you have, which is love. And that's to turn it in on yourself, to love yourself so much that even if you're not perfect, you're exactly where you need to be. It's
I
all
love that.
divinely given to you to do exactly what you do in the way you do it. And that's the only thing that's going to shut that card up because you are so intelligent. It's constant. Take a breath, pull it in. Use breath a lot. Breath is big. Breath works on a psychological basis as well. It's very scientific the way the breath can really help us. But pull that into you and put that love around you. You're so good at giving it out. And you've gotten pretty good with getting it in. But there are some areas where it's like, no, this is so important. I'm not going to let myself do that.
Mm.
But the only
Yeah,
way to
that
get
speaks
through
true
it
to
is
me.
to do it anyway. Yeah, you've got to
Yeah.
love yourself and what you do so much that doesn't matter. Like you would your child. Anybody that's been a parent knows that feeling of no matter what they do, you're going to love them.
Yeah.
Love yourself with that same abandon. And this will stop a lot of that because that's the only thing in your way. The only thing. And you are the only person on the planet right now doing what you're doing in the way you're doing it. We need you.
Wow,
We
that's
need you.
huge. I really feel like you are literally healing my heart right now. Like I just feel
Good.
it kind of in my chest.
That's exactly what happens. And it's your higher self. We're opening up a channel and a connection
Yes.
for them to come in and do the work. It's not me. I'm just the witness. I just get to witness it and move a little energy around and kind of
I appreciate it.
just, yeah, it just happens. It's part of what I was gifted with.
Yeah.
But the universe card is yours. It's yours. The universe. We are crafting a new world. This whole world has changed in the past decade, but basically in the past 4 years. So huge.
Yeah.
And there are some spearheading souls, as are you, that are making that new world. I don't know how to put it. For people that are here in the United States, if you think about the people that went out, the pilgrims came here and then they went out through and the whole United States got open. That's what you're doing in your field. It's new. It's different. And you don't have studies to go back on and say,
That's
you know
true.
what, this is safe or this works or doesn't. So there's a little bit of, you got to be careful what you say and what you're offering out there. You can't just go throwing stuff around, but get people to come in and put the money behind what needs to be done to have studies done with this so that it is safe and it is still, that's got to happen. That's scarier than working with the people that you got to work with.
That's true.
Convince these people that have the money involved. Because,
Yeah.
if you're right, which I know you are, I've lived it, I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But if you're right, what does that do to Big Pharma? What does
Mm-hmm.
that do?
It
So
crushes
you're
them.
up against all of that as well. I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, but you can see it when you see it. And that's definitely one that I think all of us are really beholden to, is pharmaceuticals that have been used and abused to the point they won't allow all the stuff that could heal us in.
Yes,
It's
absolutely.
necessary. It's a big part of what you do. But
Yes.
you got to convince these people to put some money in and to do some studies on our children who are going just absolutely rampant right now.
Yeah,
They need us a lot. They need
I
us.
agree. Yep. I agree
So on
wholeheartedly.
top of that, a little personal note, and you can take
Yeah.
this out later if you want to, but what do you
Okay.
have in the area of love and relationship?
What do I have?
Is there anything going on around you with that? Because right above you is a spiritual union.
Yeah,
Okay,
big
so
time.
we don't have to go too personal with this. It's above you. Okay, so whatever it is that is going on, it's a win-win. This is good. It's going to work. I want to say you're almost like here you go, here's your gift to help support you through everything that you've got to do. So yeah, it's time.
I will speak to it because
Okay.
that I said when I was going to do this podcast that I was offering my life so other people could be the fly on the wall and witness what this is like. And so I'm going to be open. I realized recently that I really have to work through some sexual trauma that happened early on in my life. And I really realized that it's been kind of a theme through my adult life. And so I brought it up with my husband and I said, I want to heal this and I want to do it with you. And so
You make me cry.
yeah, it's been big.
Mm.
It's very recent. We are just starting to work through everything. But
Oh, bless you.
I can feel the change and
Oh,
hear
yeah.
the
Now
connection.
I'm getting the goosebumps.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's very reassuring to me to hear that it's going to work.
That was the exact right thing. And he will be divinely, and when I say divine, I mean creator, led to help you exactly. You can trust. You can open up and trust this one. That healing also is, we've talked before, I think, about theta brainwaves.
Yeah.
And how powerful that state of mind can be. And this is just a little from me to you, when he's working with you to help guide you and you're opening up, if you can work your way into that theta state first, the healing can happen instantaneously. See, our brain waves at that point are vibrating exactly the same as the creation of the universe. So what is meant to manifest can happen without all this 3D stuff in the way.
Okay.
So that's a
That
trick
gives me
to
an
work
idea.
with, is to get into that state of mind and then do the opening up and heal the child and work with all of the techniques that you know to work with. But from that state, it's much more powerful and very quick. It just collapses the time that it takes to heal.
Okay. Thank you. That gives me something. I have a direction now.
Awesome. Oh, that makes me
Yeah.
so happy.
Yeah, me
You're
too.
amazing. Absolutely amazing. Okay, business-wise, I see ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. And what I would say for you is to find that way to balance so that it's steady. Because if you did that, you could start living the life that everybody thinks you have. Because it's not all it's cracked up to be out there.
Oh, that's funny. That's really
Yeah.
funny. Actually, my uncle recently said he thought I was the breadwinner in the family, and I was like, "No, nope, it's John."
Yep, exactly. Because you're so passion filled that the other has kind of gotten lost in the weeds there. And that's okay. But it's coming up to time for you to start getting paid back for a lot of the work that you are doing. And I think the work that you're doing now is going to pave the way for you to be able to do that.
Wow, that told me something too. I just started journaling about this process that we're doing, and I mean, a book was kind of in the back of my mind.
Oh, Oh, yes. A book, journaling pages for people geared towards different age groups would be phenomenal for you. Um, and the use of affirmations, or I think, I can't remember what his name is, but he calls them affirmations, which are more question based rather than statement based. I think gives the person the power back. But to put your energy behind that with all of the knowledge and the wisdom you have would be really powerful for groups of people. And another group, it just kind of hit me that I think that need you a lot right now are the elderly. And I'm talking from 70 up, who are literally being left by the wayside. The world's opening back up. They can't go out. They're at danger all the time. A lot of them have leftover illnesses that they weren't going to have. So their body's not even used to it at this point because of COVID and what all of that did. And they are stammering and hurting. I have a mother who is 80 and she just got COVID in the past couple of months. She also has COPD and then a history of Guillain-Barré. You can imagine what that's done to her.
Yeah.
But her mental health right now, and there's nothing out there. There just is nothing out there that has substance for them. And I think that that's an arena that you could really provide a lot of help in a way that you can put it out, and it doesn't have to be one-on-one with you. It frees up your time to do other things, but to put together programs and things that would work well for the elderly who are at home and alone. You know, even when they live with families, they're alone. Their families are busy. And then when they're not, they've, you know, I've got 2 nephews that if they come home sick, she's stuck in a room.
I have a very dear friend. She's 82. And I've been kind of serving the purpose of her therapist lately. And I had to kind of cut that tie because I don't have the time to offer her.
Exactly. But see, that's what I'm saying is to put that, what you've already got together in a form that, because most elderly love all this new technology too. They love the Zoom and they love the this and they love to push the buttons and they love to learn. And it's good for them to be able to do that. But to put it together maybe in a program format where they could purchase it for a very affordable thing, push the button and listen to you and do some journaling and then push the button again and see that gorgeous face of yours. And you've only had to record it once. And you can sell it again and again and again. And business-wise, that's fantastic for you. But what you're putting out is so helpful for people. But to, you know, to give it that slant, talk to them in their language.
Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't do the same thing for the kids. I've got 2 granddaughters who are 15 and 17 they both see therapists all the time.
Yeah.
They need it.
Right.
So, but you would talk to them differently. So I think that would even bring the money in that you deserve, because you deserve it too. And, you know, the people that do all of the work are the ones that we assume have all the stuff. And generally, you guys are the biggest ones that sacrifice everything quietly. Just do it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
See, you're here to change that too. Be open and honest about it. It's like, this is not okay. Your segment of this society deserves just as much, if not more so.
I'm just taking this all in because this is touching on so many different things that I've had going on in my mind. And you brought some new ideas to my mind. You touched on some older ideas that I hadn't revisited in a long time. Definitely giving me some direction. So I'm feeling,
that's fantastic.
Some creative juices
That is
flowing.
fantastic. Okay, now we're going to move on to health.
Okay.
Another big one. What do you do to relax?
I meditate.
You meditate? Okay. How about movement for your body, where you get into rhythm?
I just started working out again yesterday.
That's what I was feeling, because your body's going.
Yeah. I had a tummy tuck like a year and a half ago.
Oh, bless you. I want one so bad. Oh, good girl.
Well, listen to my episode on the tummy tuck advice, because it was not an easy thing for me. And I
had a full hysterectomy 6 years ago. And at this point, it's like, I mean, I just things to the body anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
those are things
I
that you're
hadn't,
working on then, is to
yeah.
getting back in, because I hit my crystal. I told you I wouldn't do it. I hit my crystal. I hit it. Your body is it's desperately needing better hydration on a more consistent basis and a tiny bit of rhythmic moving. A good girl. Exactly.
There we go.
Super important. Our bodies, even scientifically, this world is based in a magnetic sphere. And if we don't have the proper hydration, I'm looking for my word there, we're out of balance. And anytime you
Yes.
are out of balance physically, you are mentally, emotionally, spiritually, it all flows together. But yes, for you, rhythm is in need. And the reason I think for that is because you are very technical, but you're also very fluid at the same time. And that creates friction. The two don't blend. So you're kind of like breakdancing all over the place with, you work really hard and then you've got to just crash and get into a rhythmic type of movement. And I think that will help you a lot, rather than going through, oh my gosh, I've got to do calisthenics and I've got to make sure I get the yoga in. And find something that's rhythmic and just work with it. And I think you'll find that your body responds really, really well.
Would you like a solo hindsight episode related to this specific reading? If you do, send me an email at hello@drwilliamspodcast.com. And all you have to put in the email is hindsight and the kind of reading or my guest's name, and I'll know which one you're interested in. As I produced the Intuitive Wonderland, time went on before I actually launched it. So I have a unique perspective on each of these readings and how they played out in time. Most of these readings were recorded a year ago in the past. So I can offer my insight into the information that was provided to me and how the information has played out in time in my life. If this is something you're interested in, I'm happy to share that with you. Please send me an email and let me know. All right, let's get back to the reading. Okay, well, I love hearing that because I have been having that feeling like I need to get back on the elliptical. I really love my elliptical. And
that's rhythmic, correct?
Yeah, it's very rhythmic.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And doing it yesterday, it was a little bit of a frustrating thing, but I'm giving myself the patience of easing in.
Easing in. You got that right. Balance. That's the trick to most everything, is finding balance. If not, you can burn out, and that's no fun.
100%.
Is no fun.
Yeah, and I do that.
You tiptoe up to the edge of that often, though.
I do.
Look over the edge and go, nah, I think I'll choose not to do that.
It's true. Yep.
Absolutely. Okay, do you have any questions that I can ask specifically?
I guess I would just want to know, what does my higher self, my inner being want me to know right now in this moment for my greater good?
Can I show you a card?
Yeah.
Hold your vision.
Hold my vision.
Hold your vision. Don't allow the vision that you were given. It was a gift that was downloaded to you. Don't allow it to be tainted by other people's even good ideas and good intent. You hold that vision and you hold it with the strength that they've given you. You're a mighty woman. I would not mess with you. Anybody that knows you, I bet you would back me up. Would not, because you're very to the point. Okay, you're as loving as you are. You're also very to the point. I want you to have that same energy with your vision. Hold it. Now, you can allow it to change and grow and become more, but the base of that vision needs to stay pure. And you've been entrusted with that.
Wow.
So hold it, and hold it dear.
I have another question.
Yes.
So I feel a little alone in my spiritual journey here. A lot of my family, my friends, they're not really, like, I've been finding my spiritual family, like you.
Yes, absolutely.
Through things like the podcast and reaching out and finding my tribe. But I'm wondering, what my role is in this family and having this be such a part of who I am. And I know this is part of my life journey. And yet, why am I surrounded by people who are not on the same playing
On the
field?
same page. Well, your job here isn't to get them on the same page. What it's here to do is to show the evidence of what you're doing and how it can change a life. And part of that has to do with living in an imperfect world. So if you had everything perfectly around you, nobody's going to believe you. They're just not going to grok it. Most of your clients, most of the people who are going to hear you live in a world just like what you do, where everything isn't, there's pockets where it's not perfect. And so you're being given that. It's not a punishment. It's not your job to change it. It's just part of the environment that you need to hone your work. And I would think for you personally with that is to remember that you don't have to speak it. You just have to live it and be the proof. And then when they ask, what's different about you? Why is this all of a sudden working? Where's this smile from all of a sudden? You could say it's because I've added in a few new practices and it's really helping me. And then also to remember that, especially for families who are very religious based, is that it all equates into prayer. Doesn't matter. We forget the verbiage. Don't say I do meditation, or although a lot of religions are okay with meditation, but you start adding in psychics and you start adding in all these other things, and it's fear-based, and that's okay. Love them through it, but don't use the words. They don't need to understand. Just know that this is an energy. It's prayer. Use their words to describe what you're going through, and they'll get it. They'll heal through you.
That helps.
Yeah.
The aspect of just using their words and not having to
Goodness,
prove
yes.
anything to
Oh,
them.
I have.
That helps a lot.
My brother is a Mennonite minister. I know how to use words. You have to.
Yeah.
And he's completely on board with me and everything that I'm doing. And by all rights, it probably shouldn't be. I don't know if shouldn't's the right word, but you wouldn't anticipate it. But because I can express it in their understanding, it's the same thing, just done in a different way.
I agree.
I
That's
have
my
faith,
belief.
just saying.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, I want to ask about my kids.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
My eldest is showing signs of a very strong spiritual knowing.
Mhm.
And I've been trying to nurture that in him. My youngest, not as much, but I get so much love from my youngest. Like he really serves this very strong force of love in my life. And I just want to understand them more, my role with them, that kind
Okay,
of
well,
thing.
your oldest is definitely a star seed. And
Okay,
that's
what does that
with
mean?
our indigo children, they're star seeds. They are beings. I believe that we all have different incarnations and we come from different places and planes of being, not just planets, but planes of being. And star seeds are souls where they've come here and incarnated in certain places in certain families to provide really intense energy that only they can provide. And because they've chosen to come into a world like that, they are like fish out of water. They need a lot of attention, a lot of help, a lot of guidance, but you got to give them plenty of room to shine, because when they're ready to shine, man, this world needs them and they're ready to shine. There are a lot on the planet right now, a lot, because we're all needing it so much, but your oldest one is definitely there. I would guide him into learning how to channel his own energy, not other people's and not other things, but where he comes from. Find his own base and be able to work with that. So the star seed is something that he can look up and try to find out, or you can for him as he grows. I don't know the ages, so I see an adult. So to me, that's where their soul is at. And I know just by looking at you, that can't be right. You're way much younger than that. Your other one you've been with many lifetimes, Okay. So you've got one who's a brand new to this world, much less you. And then another one that you've had forever. You've just kind of mirror each other, and you've switched roles and been all sorts of things together. That bond is going to last a lifetime for you. I mean, that depth of bond
Yeah.
They need you as much as you need them. They're because you've also been through some horrendous lifetimes. We all have. That's how we learn. And there's some healing to do there. So there's a lot of trauma in there, and you're going to be confused as you go. Where did the trauma come from? He hasn't had any trauma. He's had a really good upbringing. Why is he trauma-based? It's because it came in from another lifetime, and you're here to help heal that. And every bit of the healing you're doing, you're offering on to your, for me, it's 7 generations prior and forward that just happens when we heal. They have that opportunity. And so that's where that comes from. But you have an odd dynamic there with your husband as well. There's a real odd dynamic between the 3 of you. I think that's because of that also. I think there's some friction and maybe a little bit of jealousies that go both ways, and that you're just going to have to navigate. You're perfectly capable of doing that.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. They vie for attention. And I think there's been some clashing, but you're all healing each other. It's just like a beautiful pod of healing going on. So it makes my heart happy. I'm sure it's a little rough on you sometimes, especially when you're dealing with children who are, and you're brilliant, but they're really brilliant. So they can outthink you, and I don't think you're used to that you've had the top
That's true.
top seat in so many areas of your life.
Yes.
And now you've got these 2 little ones that are capable of outthinking you. That can be off-putting a little bit and scary, but you're going to learn because you've also given them such a great base that it's okay. Let them help lead you into a world that you know nothing about. They're going to understand this world. And the more we move forward into it, you're busy doing your thing. Let them help you understand the world.
Gosh.
And that'll bond you.
That speaks true to me so much. They teach me so much. My youngest, he is unaffected by people around him. He maintains his happiness, and it doesn't matter if I'm upset or anyone else, he's good. And I praise that in him because I know that's how we all should be.
And I know your oldest is not like that. No way.
He gets very affected by emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're right. They teach me so much, and they reiterate it back to me. So I've been doing this thing where I go in their room when they're sleeping and I say positive expectations in their ears to kind of nurture behavior things. And they throw it back in my face all the time. They're like, hey, you can't make me do that. I'm the boss of me. And this is what I'm teaching them. I want them to believe that. But then they throw it back at me. And I'm like, oh,
yeah,
gosh, it's amazing.
And then you've got to rely on that training also that you've given them. I have a 25-year-old daughter, 26. She's 26 now. There are times in life where you just have to trust that you've given them everything. She moved 1,300 miles away from me to live in a big city. We come from a tiny little I don't, but she does. Little West Virginia town. And she moved to Austin, Texas on her own. Poof.
Oh my gosh.
All by herself. Just boom. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm okay with it because I trust her, but I'm watching her go through some tough times. And that hurts, and I can't get to her. But the more I step back and realize, I gave her everything she needs. She's brilliant. She's wonderful. And she picks up that phone and calls me when she needs me. And that's the gift right there, is that I know she knows how to ask for help because we all do at different times.
Yeah. That kind of brings something up for me. I want to ask about my mom. My mom and I have a very strong relationship. We've been through a lot together. And lately, as I've kind of veered on my spiritual path, it's kind of I withdraw a little bit from her. And even though our closeness is still there, I just am trying to navigate this new kind of dynamic.
Yeah. I think you're wise to be careful with how you say what you say, because she's so protective, and she doesn't want you stepping into something that she doesn't understand. That's fearful for her. Okay. Then respect that and understand it, but do share with her the outcomes of all this stuff. I'm
Okay.
healing. She doesn't have to know about the trauma, but I'm healing and I'm doing and I'm changing. And, how about we take just a breath for a minute? Couch a lot of what you speak to her in the psychology terms that you use that she can understand. And then just show her the beauty of how much you're transforming. That's all you need to do. And then you don't have to worry about what you're saying. Just show her.
Okay.
Just show her. And then fall back into the same good bond that you had.
Yeah. We have
Yeah.
a very good relationship. We
Yeah.
do. I love her dearly, and she just sometimes, like right now she's not feeling well, and so I try
Mhm.
not to talk to her when she's not feeling well because I don't want that energy. I take her on in a big way, a really big way. And I
Right.
have my whole life.
Can I give you a little
So,
trick for that? I
yeah.
have to do this when I do my readings and when I do with people, as being as open as I am. I can get down real fast. I know it's an energetic thing. And what I always do is I visualize in front of me is kind of a film. And I ask my higher self to infuse that so that only the best for both passes through for any connection that I'm having. And do that with her. Just do that quick little meditation visualization, really, before you speak. You can have it be so fast that it's every single time, and see if that doesn't help you. So you can be open, vulnerable, and allow her stuff to come at you, but it won't have the same effect on your body and your mind. You'll be able
Okay.
to, you'll have that layer of protection there.
I
And
love
the
that.
reason that you feel that is she is full, I mean, literally full of a lifetime of, there's a lot in there. She's been the backbone. She's been through a lot. And she's also someone who can create stories in her own mind that she lives, whether they're real or not. And I'm not saying that she makes things up, but what I'm saying is she sits back and worries, and her body feels as though that worry is real. So she experiences everything really intensely. And to unload all of that would be your biggest gift to her, is to just teach her a few quick, just little techniques that she can use to unload some of that weight off of her, so that the beauty of her, because see, every time she's been happy, she's been hit. So she's not going to open up to happy. Her mind doesn't want, it's like, that's dangerous. If I'm happy for a minute, something's going to fall apart. Somebody's going to die. Something's going to hit me. No, I'm not doing it. And you're
Wow,
not here
that's
to heal
heavy.
her, but you can support her and love her through her own journey with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that feels
But then
powerful
to
to me.
take that off you, you're not here to fix it.
Okay.
You're just here to love her through it.
All right. We're almost out of time. I have one more
You're
question.
such a joy. Just love you.
Thank you. The last question I have is, I've been feeling like I have an intuitive gift that I have not
Mhm.
tapped into.
Oh,
And I'm wondering if you know what it is.
your intuitive gift? Which one you want?
Really?
Which one you want? I don't know that you're going to be super psychic per se, because I think you believe, like I do, that we create all this stuff and our experiences come at us through that vision. And to you, that would be a waste of time. A lot of my work is done teaching people. I predict only what's possible, and then I help you figure out what you want, and let's get that for you instead. And so being able to do that, I think, is one of your gifts, to just connect. But I think your biggest one is to do exactly what I do, which is to connect with that soul, that higher self, and allow that to come back at the other person. Much more
Okay.
so than any of the others. It's just going to be a natural thing for you, but you can do any of it. You're very empathic, you're clairsentient, clairaudient, you have it all. It's just what switch do you want to turn on today?
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think
Well,
that, and
that's
that's why you're
exciting.
having trouble finding, because you can do any of it, but you haven't had the time and the energy yet to be able to put towards it. I think it's going to come really natural for you, though. Really natural.
Wow, that's
I would love to have a
exciting.
reading by you.
What?
Yes, I would.
I've never done a reading.
You kind of do, though, when you talk to
Yeah.
people. I use cards and I use this stuff, and it gives me a little bit of a focus. But if you notice, I'm right back over here because the realness is here with the person.
Yeah.
The rest of that stuff is all, especially when you're doing readings for people, they want to see and they want to sense and they enjoy that part of it. But the connection that you have, it's beautiful. I'll teach you. I'll show you. It's easy.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. And you know what? It does speak a little true to me when I speak with my 81-year-old dear friend.
Mhm.
Things do come to me. And I'm like, hey, this just came to me. Does this feel true to you? And I don't have a lot of confidence in it, but it's there. I know what you're
It's right
talking
there.
about.
Yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
absolutely.
This has been really amazing.
Thank you
And
so much.
I love your energy. I feel very comfortable with you. You know, a lot of times when I do interviews, I get really nervous. I don't know. It's just something about
Mhm.
recording but I don't feel that way with you. It feels
Good.
very comfortable, and
Good.
I fully enjoyed this. I hope everybody listening has enjoyed it and feels encouraged to have a reading themselves. Can you kind of tell people how to find you so that if
Sure.
they do want
I
to have a
have
reading, they can?
for readings, you can go to LeeAnnRomine.com. I do have a link on there. And I'm also doing every month now because I just want people to get a taste of what this is. It's called my Rise event. I believe that we rise together. And it's going to be held next month, May the 15th. And I will make sure that I have that all over. So find me on social media. I've just got all of it all over the place. It's super simple to find me. And I just want you in there. And I would love to have you in there. Just come
Yeah.
in and experience and let me do a little bit of a mini reading and focus. I love to focus on business. To me, that seems to be where I'm guided most. It's like, oh, here's an idea. Let's go make your million. You can do it. You know, and
That's right. So you're not doing a lot of individual personal readings
I still
anymore,
do them,
the
but not
Rise.
as often because I'm doing my programs and my one-on-one
Yeah.
coaching where I can really delve in. To me, a reading is just a touch to see what's there. But if you
Yeah.
want to change, I need to work with you for a period of time because change is internal. I can give you law of attraction and a little manifesting here. It's going to fall flat. It always does. It falls apart unless you do that inner work first. And that's my work, is how to change all the belief structures and the reframing and all of the things and collapse the time it takes to heal yourself so you can go out and make a million and impact the world and have it all.
Is this a community kind of thing? Will other people meet other people that are in
Oh,
this event?
absolutely. In fact, my newest program is called the Conscious Leadership Collective. And that's my thing, was to make something that was very affordable, very easy, but it's intense. I want some change going on. I'm a person. I don't want to just talk. I want to see what you're doing. I want to know. So I have a small program, and that's a collective. And that's my desire, is to get everybody together and let's just build this world, rebuild it, ground up. Beautiful people.
Well, I can't end it on a better note than that. This has been so much fun, and thank you for sharing who you are with all of us.
Thank you for having me.
That concludes today's episode. It is my hope that you found benefit in listening to today's guest and gained a greater appreciation for the guidance of intuition in each of us. If you haven't already, please make sure to follow us on social media under Dr. Williams Podcast. Look within, trust your intuition, and allow yourself to explore all the splendor that it has to offer. This is the Intuitive Wonderland.